Namaskaram everyone, welcome back to the 41 episode of our Master Unreal series, and in this episode we are going to implement our shortcuts that are connected with the inventory, which means when you press 1, 2, 3, you will be able to equip the weapons. Not just that, you will be able to holster them back. Along with this, you will be able to swap your weapons both from your holsters and from your inventory. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, I highly recommend you check that out, because in that episode I showed you how you can equip the weapons, how you can position your hands without adding new animations for each weapon. And if you have already watched it, then without wasting any time, let's get started. Alright, so we are in our editor now. In the last episode, I showed you how you can equip the guns, and now in this episode, we are going to integrate this one to our inventory, and we are also going to register the shortcuts. So let me first go to my maps, load the dummy map so that we have the brightness. Great. Now in the blueprints, third person character, this is what we did in the last episode. We were using these child actors and we were using this function. And now what I want you to understand is that whenever you equip a gun from the holster, there are 2-3 things happening. First is you are unloading the actor, the weapon actor, from the equipment. And if the weapon is coming from the holster, then you are changing this child actor class again to load that weapon. So there are 2 child actors changing. So whenever you change a class, that actor is spawned in the game under this child actor. So this spawning is little bit computationally expensive. The child actor should only be used for your equipment, and for your holsters you should just do the static mesh, because whatever is attached behind the back or in the leg side, this is just for show. They are not doing anything. So it is better to replace it with a mesh instead of the actor. Just keep the equipment as an actor, because whenever you change the class, that entire actor loads and this actor is not doing anything. So changing it continuously is not a good solution. So what we will do, we will change our holsters into a static mesh component, because they are just for visual purpose. The real fun is only happening in the equipment, the equipped item. Okay, so we are just going to keep this as a child actor, and these two will be replaced as a static mesh. So we are going to refactor our logic. I'll delete this long range weapon. I'll delete this short range weapon. And we are going to add a static mesh component. And we are going to name it short range weapon. Okay. And this long range holster, let's add static mesh, call it long range weapon. Okay. Now we will just put basic rifle in the back, and short range should be our pistol, just a static mesh. Okay, and now I'm going to give you the coordinates to arrange these two. The long range weapon that is in the back, this should go 2.9, 21.9, 11.6, and the handgun, that is the short range weapon, minus 3.7, 2.56, 5.7. This is the position for both the weapons. Okay, now I hit compile. And now what we are going to do is, in the inventory graph where we have all this entire setup, all this logic that we coded, it's time we remove it so that we can start the integration. This on item equipped, let's park it for a while. I will hit compile, and I'll open my equipment manager and I will open my inventory manager. You also delete this entire logic of equip. So delete this. Yes. Delete this weapon class, locomotion class, and you can delete this equip ability as well, because we don't need it. Great. And now we can get rid of this as well. Cool. So we have our fresh equipment manager. So in case you haven't followed the previous episode, you can still do it. Cool. So this equipment manager is capable of equipping anything. So first we are going to create a function that will be for equipping the weapon, specifically for weapon. Okay. And now in my game, for now, we just have 3 shortcut keys. That means 1, 2, 3 will have the slots for the weapons and I can equip or unequip them. Okay. And I'll open my input actions and I'll just duplicate this IA crutch and I'll call it IA underscore shortcut. Okay, save it. We will create this shortcut 1. Now duplicate this shortcut 2, shortcut 3. Okay, so we have 3 shortcuts and now we are going to use these 3 shortcuts in IMC default. Let's add first. So shortcut 1, assign it 1 key, add again shortcut 2, assign it 2, then go for shortcut 3 and go for 3. Okay, so we have 3 input actions. Save them, go back to third person, and in the actions, let's select all these 3 and drag them here. Okay, so you have 3 input actions. Now let's place them here. Okay, so let me give you an overview. What I will do, I'll go back to blueprints, inventory system, and from here we will drag this B item. Control D to duplicate, Control D to duplicate, and the first one would be the handgun. So let's search for handgun. Okay, then this one would be rifle. And this one would be shotgun. Again, if you haven't seen the inventory episode, please do check it out, at least the first 4 episodes, to get the understanding of how we created these definitions and instances for our inventory management. Okay, now what I want to do is play and equip these weapons. Okay, now if I open my inventory, so if I select this particular weapon and if I press 1, this weapon should be assigned in shortcut 1. If I select this one, this should be assigned to shortcut 2. Again, we will do it in a more better way, like showing a widget next to it, then selecting it assigned to shortcut, then you put a key. But for now, let's stick to simple. That is, if you select something and you press 1 or 2 or 3, it will assign this particular weapon to that shortcut. Okay, this is one case. But if your inventory is not open, then you would like to equip this. If your inventory is open, you want to use the shortcut to assign, but if your inventory is not open, that means you are trying to equip. So these are the 2 cases that can happen when you press the key. So in both the cases, we will notify the equipment manager, which will decide what to do. So what I will do in the equipment manager, in the event graph, I will create a custom event. I'll say on shortcut key pressed, and the input would be the key, type would be integer. Okay, compile. And now go to third person, get your equipment manager, call on shortcut key pressed. This is 1, so 1. It should be plugged in started actually. And then we will duplicate this, duplicate again. This one is 3, this one is 2. It should not be triggered, it should be started. Great. So these input action will notify the equipment manager. Now what we will do, we'll open this up. We are going to check whether the inventory is open or not. So get inventory manager, get case actor, then inventory is hidden or not. So we will check whether the inventory is hidden. If the inventory is hidden, then we would like to equip the weapon. So let's get the equip weapon. And if the inventory is not hidden, then we would like to assign the shortcut. So then we have to call this inventory manager. So what we will do in the inventory manager, we will create a function assign shortcut to item. Let's change it to active item. So whatever is active, we will assign that item to the shortcut. So the input would be the shortcut key, type would be integer. So what we will do, we'll get the selected item index. First, we will check if we have selected something or not. So branch not equal to -1. Okay, so if it is not equal to -1, then we are good to go. So we will get this selected item index and we will access our owned items. get a copy. Now we will split this, and now we have the access to the definition where everything is stored. So now this inventory manager will call the equipment manager that, hey, this item has to be assigned, so store it, because whatever that is connected with the equipment part is stored here, all the states and variables. So what we are going to do, we are going to create a map. So shortcut map, and I'll change this to integer, change this to map, and the integer will be BP item definition base. Okay, object reference. Great. So item definition, and we will compile it. Now this shortcut map will store the weapons that are mapped to the shortcut keys. Okay. Another thing that I want you to notice is in the viewport, you can only equip 2 weapons at a time. So if you have like 4 or 5 shortcuts, then you can just afford 2 holsters. When it comes to the holsters, you can only pick 2 weapons. So that means what we will do, the first and the second shortcut will be visible in the holsters. The rest of them will be invisible. That means they will be in the inventory. Okay, so there are 2 things happening. First, you have to manage the shortcuts. Second, you have to manage the holsters mesh, what you are going to show. So we will go back to our equipment manager. So this will call the inventory manager assign shortcut to active item in the false case. And the key is this. Great. Now let's open it up. So now this definition needs to store a little more stuff. Item definition base. And we are storing item mesh, which will be accessed so that you can set it in your holsters. Now we need 2 more things. That is what type of locomotion layer this item uses and what is the actor class. So for example, if this is a weapon, remember this is the item definition base. It covers all type of items, variables, weapons, treasures, keys, everything. But for our weapon case, we would like to know what is the locomotion layer, because pistol has the pistol layers, rifle has rifle layers. And second, we want to know what is it holster type. That means if it's a simple handgun, then it has to be placed in the leg holster. If it's a big gun like a rifle, sniper, then it has to go in the back. So second thing that we want to know is what type of holster is compatible with this particular item. Okay. And the third thing is that the actor class, because for weapons, we have these actors that we created in the blueprint weapons. Remember? So we need these actors. So what we are going to do is in the item definition base, we will go for locomotion layer. Okay. And then we are going to go for NM instance class reference. We want to know the locomotion layer class. Second is the holster type. Now see, there are 3 holsters. First is your leg, second is your back, third is the inventory. That means it is going to be in the case. So we are going to create enumeration for this. We're going to go in the blueprints, inventory system, and here we are going to create enumeration. So enumeration, name it enum underscore holster type. Okay, open it up. The first would be the inventory, which is by default. Second is your leg. Third is your back. Okay, so these are the 3. Now go back, change this to enum holster type. Okay, third thing that we want to know is the actor class. So if this item has any actor, we want to know. So we will go for actor class reference. Okay, compile. So these are the 3 things. Now we can go to our items, weapons, guns, handgun definition, and there you go. So every item has this. So the locomotion layer is the pistol layers, holster is the leg, actor class is the B pistol. So this is the way to store the information. Compile. You don't need to create more and more object blueprints for equipment, for inventory. Just use a single one. because these are the details that are not gonna change in any way. So that is the reason we created this definition class. Definition means something that is permanent, static, which define its nature. Then instance is something that is modifiable. Certain attributes or characteristics can be modified. That goes in the instance. So now we go back to the shotgun. In the shotgun definition, we go for rifle layers. This is the back and B underscore shotgun. Go for assault rifle. This is rifle layers again, back and B underscore rifle. Save all. Now after saving all, we can close this entire right side. And now this definition will give you all the things that you need. So now it needs to call the function in the equipment manager that please update shortcut. Okay, hit compile. And now this update shortcut first needs to know what is the key. So the shortcut key that is of integer type. Then it needs to know the equipment that is coming. So the equipment, and the equipment is nothing but the item definition where all the details are present, and this should be object reference. So make it object, compile, go back to inventory manager, and now here you can access the character from variables, get equipment manager and update shortcut, and the shortcut key is this one. So R and connect this. The equipment is this definition. Let's hit compile. Awesome. We can go back to our equipment manager. First thing what we are going to do is going to go for a sequence node. The first thing we need to do is assign this equipment to this shortcut key so that you can access its information anytime. So we'll go in the shortcut map, add this. So first get the shortcut key, which goes here. Then you need the equipment. So get the equipment and connect it here. Second thing we want to do is, if this is a first or second shortcut, that means it is going to be visible in the holsters. So we will go for a branch node and we will check if this shortcut key is less than or equal to 2, which means 1 or 2. So we'll connect it here. And then we are going to check which holster is it, because this item which is coming, which holster does it belong to? So we will go for switch on enum holster type, and the holster can be accessed in this get holster and connect this here. And now what we are going to do, we are going to change the mesh long range and short range based on this holster type. So if it's a leg, then we will access the character get long range holster weapon, okay, and set static mesh, and the mesh that we want to set is going to be here in a minute. It should be short range actually. This is a leg, so it should be short range. So get short range weapon and set its static mesh. Duplicate this, remove this one, get long range weapon, duplicate this, and this will go for pack. And now the new mesh that we want is in the equipment. So get the equipment which you are receiving in the input. We can access the item mesh because it's part of the definition. So get item mesh, connect it here and connect this here as well. Okay, we are good. If it is inventory, then we have nothing to do. So let's hit compile. And for testing purpose, what we can do is at the time of event begin play, we can assign shortcuts by default. So what we will do, we will use a for loop and we will start from 1 to 3. Okay. And we will use switch on int. We will start the index from 1. This should be 1 and then 1, 2, 3. And now we can go for construct object from class, duplicate this, duplicate this. This is just for testing purpose. Otherwise we have to pick the item, then assign it. So it's a redundant task. So first we do the testing via a shortcut. First would be our handgun. then it will be our shotgun, then it will be our rifle. Let's save all. And then we can call this update shortcut directly. So the shortcut key goes 1, then it goes 2, then it goes 3. Okay. Connect equipment here, here, here. So this means 1 is for handgun, 2 is for shotgun, 3 is for rifle, and 1 and 2 will be visible as a gun in the holsters. And let's connect this index to selection. Okay, now we compile, and now we need to implement the equip weapon so that we can equip the guns based on the shortcut. In the equip weapon, we will accept the key, that is the shortcut key. Type would be integer, and then we will find this key in the shortcut. So find key, and if you found it, then promote this to a local variable, equipment. Okay, and plug it here. But if you did not find, then just simply return this, which means nothing. Once you have the equipment, we would like to know what is it that you have currently equipped. Because if you have something already equipped, let's say you press 1, you equip the pistol, and if you press 1 again, then we have to unequip that pistol. That means put it back to holster. If I press 2, that means I have to swap. So there are 3 situations. One is you are unarmed and you equip something. Second, you can unequip the same thing that you have equipped, or you can swap it with some other shortcut. You can swap it with some other equipment. So first we would like to know whether you have unequipped or not. So for this, I have to know what is the current equipment that you have. So we will get the character, and that is in the equipped item. We can get its class. So character get equipped item. Then we want to know the child actor class. So get child actor class. Now we will promote this to local variable, and we will say current equipment. Okay. And plug it here. Now whether should you unequip or not? So the way to determine is you have equipped something and now you are trying to equip this new equipment. So we can check if these classes are equal or not. So how do we check? If they are equal, so let's rename this equipment to new equipment. That will be better. And we get the actor class. So if these two classes are equal, that means you are trying to unequip. So we will promote this to a local variable again. B should unequip. Then we connect this. Okay. That is the whole logic. So let's put this in a sequence node. Okay. This is the first thing that we do. Great. So now let's say you equipped the gun. Let's say handgun. Then the handgun should disappear from the holster. So we will hide it using the visibility thing. So if you go to viewport, select this short range weapon. This is the handgun. And if you go for visibility, you can turn it off and this will become invisible. It is still there, but you will just make it disable. Why I'm saying this? Removing the static mesh and loading something else is little computationally expensive, so it is better to play with the visibility in such cases. So we will go back, and now we need to know whether the new equipment that you are trying to equip, is it coming from the holster or is it coming from the inventory? Remember, you can have more than 2 shortcuts. You can have 5, but you can only have 2 holsters. So if the gun is coming from the holster, then we have to hide it. Otherwise, we will not do anything. We will just equip it, right? So for this, what we will do, we have to know what is it that is present in the holsters. So we will create 2 variables, back holster weapon. So what is it that is loaded in the back? So we will know the actor class reference. Then we want to know what is in the leg. So leg holster weapon. Now first thing you do is go for a sequence node again, and here you will do a branch. Now we will check if this new equipment that you have received, We will get the actor class. Is it equal to the back holster? Because if it is, then we have to hide this back holster weapon because you have equipped it. So if this is the case, then we have to hide it. So we will get our character. We will get the back holster, that is long range holster, and we will set visibility to. Remember, you can also put it back. So that means if you have already holded something from one or two shortcuts, then it has to go back to its holster. So what we'll do, we will create a or boolean and we will say, let's duplicate these two and we will get the current equipment. We will say if these two are equal, then also we have to change the visibility, right? So we will plug this here. So there are two cases when you can change the visibility. Now that's a different matter whether it has to be visible or invisible. First, you need to know whether to change the visibility or not. So if the new actor is same as the holster, then we have to change. Or if you are trying to unequip by pressing it again, then we have to change the visibility again. So what we will do, whatever is the visibility, just do the opposite. So if it is hidden, that means you have equipped, so put it back. So we will do the negation. So it was false, so it will become true. Let me do it first. So we will get the long range holster and get visible, and we will do not boolean, and we will propagate to the children so that static mesh is also hidden. So now if you are equipping it from the back, let's say, that means it was visible before you equipped and the negation will make it false. So this will hide it. If you are putting it back, then it was not present. So it will be false and it will become true. So it will be placed back and it will be visible again. That's the idea. So we will do the same thing for the leg holster. So let's duplicate this entire logic, connect it here. And this time back holster weapon will be changed to leg holster weapon. This one will be leg holster weapon. Okay. And we will remove this. Get short range holster, connect it. Well, instead you can just hide the mesh instead of hiding this component, because if you hide this, then you have to hide this as well. So our main objective is to hide the weapon, not the holster scene component. So let's save some computation. We will change this to long range weapon. Okay. And we will get short range weapon because that's it, because that is what we want to hide actually. Great, so we have checked both. Now equipping, unequipping, or hiding or unhiding is done. Now we can finally do the final step, that is to load that into our hands. So what we will do, we'll create another sequence pin in the previous one and we will get the character, get mesh, set link anim class layers, and the layer would be get this new equipment locomotion layer, connect it. Now remember, if you are unequipping, then you have to load the unarmed layers back, so we cannot use this layer directly. So we will remove this and we will select node and this new equipment, and we have this b should unequip. So if you are unequipping, then I have to load unarmed layers, otherwise we will go whatever locomotion layer we are receiving in the equipment. So get locomotion layer. Then same thing is applied for the equipment. If you are unequipping, then the equipment will become none. If you are equipping something, then you will access the class name character, get equipped item, set its child actor class, and that class will be dependent on whether you are unequipping or equipping. So connect it here, get this new equipment again, get actor class and pass it in false. So if you are unequipping, then set it to none. Otherwise, go for the actor class that you are receiving. So we will save all. Okay, once the item is equipped, we would like to set our I case. So for this, we will get our code from the inventory graph. That was this one. So let's cut this entire logic and go to equipment manager and paste it here. First, remove this equipped item and get our character, get equipped item, connect it here. Then we will create this variable equipped weapon. We will remove this and we will access it again here. So, and we will remove this, connect this, and let's remove this, get our character, get an instance, and plug it here. Compile, go back to update shortcut. Once everything is done, we go to equip weapon and we will fire the logic. So let's create another sequence node. Let's remove this pin and make this logic somewhere here. Now we can call on item equipped. Now in the on item equipped, we know everything. So compile, and in the on shortcut key pressed under equipment manager, we forgot to pass the shortcut key. So let's pass it. Double click on this one, connect it with this. Okay, one last thing that we did not do is update these variables because they need to keep track of what weapon is there in the holsters. So when you are assigning the shortcuts for 1 and 2, we are going to update these variables. So if it's a leg case, then we will update the leg holster. Connect this and let's make some space, a good space. I think I should create one more duplicate of the character. Take this all the way here. Okay, now we can set the class. So get this equipment, get actor class, and this will go in the leg holster. And in this case, it will go in the back holster. And let's delete this, make things little more beautiful like this. Okay, save all, play, press 1, you see gun is gone, press 2, shotgun is gone, press 3, shotgun comes back to its holster, rifle is in hand. If I press 2, rifle goes back to inventory case, the shotgun is disappeared from your bag. If I press 2 again, you have unequipped. If you press again and then you switch to leg, handgun is gone, shotgun is back. Okay, so this is your logic of integration with inventory and the equipment manager. All right, before we test the inventory, two things we need to do. First is we have to go in our equipment manager and detach this because now we are going to assign shortcut via inventory. Second thing is when you open the inventory, your game is paused. Remember in the inventory system episodes, we paused the game when your inventory is open. So to make our input actions work, I have to go in the input actions, open this shortcut 1, trigger when paused, do the same for 2, do the same for 3. Now these actions will work even when the game is paused. So save all, play the game, pick your weapons, shotgun, rifle, handgun. Press I. Now shotgun, let's say 3, rifle 2, and pistol 1. Okay, so I selected and pressed the shortcut keys. Press I to close. Now press 1, handgun, press 2, rifle, 3 for shotgun, 2 for rifle, 2 to put it back, So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know in the comments if you have any doubts, questions, queries. I will be happy to answer. So in the next episode, we will be going with the rifle scoping so that you can scope in and out. And after that, I'll show you how you can make the sniper elite shot. A huge shout out to my Patreon supporters, and if you want to become one of them, then you can check out the Patreon page in the description. Also, do not forget to discuss with me before purchasing any membership. So till then, take care, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.